Thank you for joining my class today. My name is Angela, and I am here to share how you can adore your pelvic floor with practice. And let's get started. We'll just start with a short meditation. And I don't have any special supplies that we really need for this. This is going to be just about yoga movement and connecting with our bodies. And I just would like to invite you to find Anjali Mudra. I'm sitting in Sukhasana, easy pose. I'm going to close my shade here. Let's kind of get settled. Okay. I'm in San Francisco. And it's about 10 o'clock here. So let's find Anjali Mudra. Connecting deeply, settling in, closing our eyes, just to connect with the breath. Breathing in, noticing your breath being cooler on the inhale. Using Ujjayi breath by closing off the back of the throat and breathing with the sound of the ocean on your exhale. One more of those. Breathing in and out. And placing your hands on your belly, inviting deep diaphragmatic breathing into our early part of this practice. If you can breathe into your belly, using Ujjayi breath helps to bring more oxygen into the body. Breathing in, expanding the belly, breathing out, contracting the belly. Let's do 3 more rounds of this. This helps to warm up our pelvic floor diaphragm. And last breath in. With a full exhalation, let's rub our hands together and close our eyes, placing your hands over your eyes, opening the eyes inside your hands, and then returning back to where we are. I just want to invite you to begin bringing some blood flow to your pelvic floor area by igniting your gluteal muscles, your perineum, pulling it up and back. And the idea, I'm just going to turn around here and show you the body parts we're looking for. The idea is finding the pelvic floor muscles and pulling them up and then back. So not so much a full contraction, but really looking for an upward motion that goes kind of backwards. Do you feel that? I think my mic is disabled. There we go. Is it something that you do? Is this a practice that you do for yourself? So connecting with that feeling, that upward back feeling, that's the engagement that we're going to seek throughout this practice. So I'd like to begin standing up. So finding your downward dog first. Let's go into a first downward dog. And then pressing through, pressing, finding those hamstrings, warming them up a bit. And step, hop, or jump to your hands. Let's just stay here for just a minute in big toe pose. And then rolling up to half lift. Tucking the gluteal muscles, pulling up and back the pelvic floor, rising up. And then finding mountain pose. Back up a little so you can see me. So mountain pose. Legs are shoulder width apart. They can be together, whatever works best for you. And your big toes, if they're together, should touch, and your second toe should be facing forward. So it means that your ankles are slightly pulled apart. Rolling the shoulders back. Mountain pose. Here we want to pull in the abdominals, tuck the hips, and pulling up and back that pelvic floor region. Just finding that space in our bodies, connecting with it. Pulling up and back, breathing laterally into the diaphragm at the same time. Coordinating. It's kind of hard to do. Coordinating this feeling with 3 breaths. And as you breathe, feeling that point in your navel that's connecting the energy from your root chakra. Really enlivening these 2 chakras, releasing, sustaining energy in our bodies. Grounding into the feet, grounding into all of the toes. Lateral breathing, pulling up, feeling that integration and the power of this simple pose. This is something you can bring to you anytime you're standing. Remembering this pose, engaging the quads. If your feet aren't together, I invite you to bring your feet together. We're going to go into chair pose. So take a deep breath in. Very gracefully, bring the arms up. Find your seat. Find your seat wherever that is for you. We're going to experiment with this pose, and you might find that you can bring it down further as we experiment. So bringing the arms up, rounding the shoulders, rolling the shoulder blades down your back, pulling up and in. Just take a moment to set up your body for optimum energy flow. So really tucking down the bottom, pulling up, tilting the pelvis forward, really gracefully seating ourselves down into that imaginary seat. My toes are curling up, so bringing every toe down onto the floor, supporting ourselves with the ground below us, feeling that spatial awareness. So now, feeling that connection point, pelvic floor to the navel, opening our chakras up, firing up this area, feeling so healthy, realizing the new blood flow in this area to foster all kinds of great hormone release. Balancing hormones, testosterone. And then rising up, Bringing the arms down, shaking it out, whatever your moves are there. And then maybe kind of bringing it over from side to side, releasing the lower back. Just a couple more standing poses, then we're going to take it to the ground. From here, bring your legs shoulder width apart. Bring the arms up to the sky. Cactus the arms. And take a deep bend down. This is a standing Melasana pose. And this really allows us to focus our energy here in this area. So bringing your attention to the breath. Now I am trying to stand up as vertically as I can. If this is a challenge, just bring it up a little. You can have just a less of a bend in the knee, if that's what needs to happen. So we're not really looking for chair pose, but more of a vertical action. So tucking the gluteals, pulling up from the pelvic region into the navel, energizing this whole area, bringing awareness. Feet are facing forward, bringing simple awareness to the activity in this area. Smiling if you can. All the benefits, feelings of passion, creativity, adoration for yourself or anyone you love. So powerful. And then let's bring it down into a quick pulse here. We're going to pulse this. Let's do it 5 more times. Really great. And really bringing it up and in each pulsation. Amazing. 2 more times. 1 and 2. Awesome. And then just to keep this concentrated yin experience, we're going to bend down to the ground, touching the ground, bringing ourselves into a deep squat. You can leverage your Anjali pose and press your legs out with your elbows, if that feels good to you. If it feels better for you to simply rest the hands down. Whatever is the best for your situation so you can isolate the pelvic floor, that's the action we're looking for today. And then if it helps, you could roll up your mat, place your mat under your ankles, if your ankles are riding up. This is my call to action now. And as we press open or hang out here, just lifting the pelvic floor, feeling that action pull up, inspiring. Whew. Some warmth in the body, realizing some deeper feelings of creativity. It can all really relate to your whole life. It can inspire passion, to bring tantra into your life, rituals around everything. Awesome. Let's just take 2 more deep breaths in. Breathing into the diaphragm if you can, feeling that belly up as we squat. This is a great exercise that is underutilized by so many in my Western culture. Bringing the blood flow from the feet to the gluteal muscles helps to reduce any kind of stress in the legs, varicose veins, keeps those at bay. Pulling up the pelvic floor. Let's take 2 more breaths here. 2 more breaths. Okay, now let's bring it down to child's pose. Have a little healthy resting pose here. Resting the head onto the mat, reaching out, or releasing the shoulders and tucking the arms around the ankles. Resting, allowing the body to completely release. And when you're ready, just press up. And we'll find ourselves in hero pose. These resting poses, when we do this yin type of work, releasing energy, is very great to integrate all of that blood flow that happens. So now we're going to take a pigeon pose to really open the hips. And I'm going to start with my left leg. So bringing my right leg back, placing the left leg. It can be in a 90-degree angle if that works for you, just in front of you, or it can be tucked back, just what is working for me. And if it helps, you can roll up your mat and place it under your, I'm on my left side, so under your left buttock, or have a bolster, pillow, blanket there. That can be very helpful. And you can stay here in this upright pose. And if we're here, engaging the pelvic floor, feeling what's going on there. How is it responding to this stretch? Pulling it up into the navel and imagining it, the energy flowing back through the spine. You can bring this down to the floor, wherever you feel most comfortable. You can keep the spine long. In this pose, you can go ahead and seek that deep stretch forward. This is releasing so much energy from our hips and also enlivening the synovial fluid in our hips and knees. Really a rejuvenative, renewing pose in so many ways, especially for those of us who are over 40, like myself. So just breathing in here, releasing the hips. Engaging the pelvic muscles. Really powerful. Really helpful for those of us in midlife. Let's bring our bodies up, gently releasing the leg. Taking a moment to just wiggle the legs out. And then let's change sides. So I'm going to bring my right leg up. Again, having that left leg extended. If you find that you're rising up, placing a pillow between your foot and your pelvis is really helpful. Or you can roll up a mat and place your buttocks down there. And again, if this is where you find yourself, this is a great stretch. Very good action, a great place to begin. And then as you feel comfortable, engaging the pelvic floor, pulling the perineum, the pelvic floor, up into feeling, imagining it going into your navel and traveling back into your lower spine. BKS Iyengar says that this action, if you do it for the long term, it will be your fountain of youth, as it is incredibly balancing to all hormones for both men and women, helping us on an easeful transition into middle age. And then reaching forward if you can. Breathing in, Rounding it over if that feels right to you. Amazing. Stretch. Press up a little. Isolating the pelvic floor muscle is what we're doing today. Pulling it up and back. This embodied practice is very powerful for releasing emotions in this area. Feelings of safety, feelings of belonging lie in this root chakra. Okay, 2 more breaths here. And then let's press up and release when you're ready. Finding ourselves in staff pose, Dandasana. Let's see if you can see me here. Let's just offer a little relaxation and bring our bodies forward. Holding our toes. You can scoop your hands around the tops of your feet if that's where you are. If you're here, that's great. Wherever you find yourself, releasing the lower back. Breathing laterally through the ribs. The practice of breathing into the diaphragm is incredibly healthy. Okay. Pulling down, isolating, releasing the lower back, engaging the quadriceps and feeling the stretch in the hamstrings. And then release. Awesome. Okay. Let's bring it down to the floor. We're going to really work the pelvic floor muscles now. Let's find ourselves in with the bent knees here, bringing it down slowly as you can, grounding the body into the floor, letting the blood flow, integrate, doing its thing, being easy on ourselves. Placing the hands at the ribs. Feel your body breathe into your diaphragm on the floor. Connecting with this breath enables us to naturally stimulate the pelvic floor through the diaphragm that is also in the pelvic floor. So as we breathe into this diaphragm out, it presses down the pelvic floor naturally. So it allows that natural lift back up when we breathe out. So that natural breath process, accessing breath to your diaphragm, breathing laterally out, is a natural pelvic floor igniter. And it also helps to balance your hormones when you do this kind of breath work throughout the day. So many of us breathe shallow breath into our chest, which allows this area to lie dormant over years and years if we don't learn the diaphragmatic breath. So that's why I'm bringing awareness to that here. So let's do this. Bringing the knees back to the gluteal muscles. We're going to do a supported bridge pose. If you have a block and it feels good for you, you can place the block right under your lower back, right at that little tip of your spine that meets your coccyx muscle or your coccyx bone. And you can just kind of hang out here. That is a wonderful practice to do every day, just to balance, bring blood flow into this area, reverse blood flow with a slight inversion. And if you're feeling strong, you can press the hips up. Really feel this whole area igniting, pulling the pelvic floor up into the navel and back, imagining that action. Really helping to find these core little muscles that are deep inside. And as we hang out here just for a bit, let's press up, pulsing, trying to do this 10 times. If this is too intense, feel free to just roll it back down and rest. But let's do this. Adore your pelvic floor. Engaging the gluteal muscles, engaging the quads, releasing the hamstrings, tightening this whole area and building blood flow, helping to balance hormones, inverting the blood flow. So many great things are happening. I'm so excited right now. It's so awesome. And then I'm going to bring it down, rolling it down. Keeping the legs bent. So let's just take a little minute here. And we're going to prepare for a full bridge if that's what you feel like you can do today. If doing supported bridge is where you are, that's great. This is an awesome exercise and really incredibly healthy. But if you want to keep going, I'm going to do a full bridge and bringing the palms of your hands behind you, next to your neck, next to your head, wherever it lands. We're going to press up with the hands and feet and find a beautiful circular pose here, pulling the pelvic floor up and back, grounding all of the toes, pulling the arches of the feet up, pressing in through the hands, bringing it down. Feeling all of that spine work, energizing your nervous system and really doing great things to feel good for yourself today. I'm just going to wiggle my feet a little because I'm going to do this one more time. One more shot. And then if that's too intense, again, bringing the pelvis up or gently finding child's pose if that's where you feel like you need to be. I'm going to round to the back one more time, grounding the palms of the hand, grounding every toe, lifting the arch, pressing in the heel, and then bringing it down. Oh, so many good things today. And then let's give ourselves a little hug, bringing the knees to the chest, rocking the lower back side to side. Oh, wow. Really feeling a lot of good blood flow. This is a short little petite session. So we're going to just stretch a couple more stretches and then have a short Shavasana. So from here, let's bring the legs up just for a minute. Again, this is another inversion. That's a very sweet, easy inversion that can offer the benefits of feeling joyful, feeling content, balancing our bodies. And it's a good body check so you can see, is there one side a little different than the other? Just observing that, making note, flexing the feet, bringing the left foot down, bringing the arms out to the sides. Swing your right foot over, and it doesn't have to go very far. Keeping both shoulders on the mat, bring your foot over. If you have a strap and you like using the strap for this pose, feel free to do so. And then bringing it back up, bring the leg over to the right side, if it's your right leg. Opening the hips. And bring it back, place it on the floor, bring the left leg up, and we'll cross over to the right, keeping both shoulders on the floor. It can be a very easy stretch, not intense here. And then opening the hips, engaging the pelvic floor here, grounding it into the lower back, and then bringing your foot up, placing it on the ground. Let's do it one more time with bent legs. Bring your bent leg, your bent right knee up. I'm going to point my toe this time, and then bring the knee over. How does that feel different than when the leg is extended? Flex the foot, keeping both shoulders onto the ground, hugging the ground with your back. Bring your leg up and then press it over to the right, opening the hips. Doesn't that feel like such a great opening? Really nice. And then bringing the leg up and down. Let's move to the left leg. Flexing or pointing the foot first. Let's cross over the body, pressing both shoulders into the ground. And it doesn't have to be a deep stretch. Engaging the pelvic floor, seeing how that is feeling. You're feeling a little stronger, a little bit more engaged, and then opening the foot, opening the leg and flexing the foot, opening the hips with the bent leg, bringing it back up, placing both legs down. We're in the perfect moment here for Shavasana. And if you have a little blanket, you can keep yourself warm. I'm really warm, so I'm just gonna stay put and close my eyes. I'm gonna leave my arms down to my sides, or you can place your hands on your belly. Whatever feels comfortable for you. And let's just integrate all of this warming action, letting the blood settle in where it needs to be, slowing the breath. We'll stay here for a couple minutes. Wiggling the fingers and toes. Feeling the integration, this short Shavasana. Allowing the body to be energized. Focusing on one area in our bodies. So powerful. And when you're ready, roll to your right side and connect there. Pressing up when it feels right. There's no rush. And finding your favorite seated pose, hero's pose, lotus pose, sukhasana. Let us do what yogis do, yoginis, after yoga, after Shavasana. We connect ourselves with the universe, allowing all of this good work, aligning our energy, connecting it to the greater world, rippling energy out in positive ways. Allowing this restoration of our creative space, our most grounded part of our body, to ripple through all of our body and out into our space around us, bringing joy, happiness, passion, creativity to all around us. May our yoga practice bring joy and light to all who are with us and beyond. May all beings know no suffering. May all beings know joy. Thank you for joining me today. Hands to the third eye. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this short practice. I'll see you in the warm-up room. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them.